Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, world. What's up, everybody? My name is Valentina Mami. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first episode, first of many. Hopefully, if everything goes right. And I am just really grateful. I'm really blessed to be able to do this. A little bit about myself. I was born in Colombia. I grew up in LA. I am a singer, rapper, actress, and yeah. That's a little bit about me. I have my amazing, one of my best friends here with me today. Her name is Joanna. We've worked a lot together, have a lot of history, just someone that has inspired me. I love her, I look up to her, just such a genuine, real person in LA, which is hard to find, but I'm so happy that I found that, and I have notes. Yeah, tell us about you.
I'm first of all honored that I'm on the first episode. My name is Joanna Marie Hobby. I am an actress. I'm also a DJ. I act and I DJ full time out here in these LA streets. Oh my gosh, it's so sexy to hear your voice on here. It's like ASMR.
Not the ASMR.
You should read lullabies. Clicking of the I never understood that.
So a main reason why I invited you, like said, is you're one of my best friends. We're both in entertainment. We're both in music. We are also a big thing that we share, and that's something that you are a big part of my life, is we are Christian. We do have these values, and that is our religion. And I met you before that was part of my life, and you've seen me through so many ups and downs, and one thing that really, really brought us together is obviously a breakup, which led me to Christ, which led me to church. And the first time I went was with Warren, but you had been inviting me
constantly. Let me just say that all the time.
For years.
Yeah.
We met really quick. We met on a kids TV show, which was super cute. It was really fun. I still get people know what it is.
Yeah.
It was a kids, how do I even explain it? I feel like you
musical superhero kids special that I would say was probably for ages 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Imagine if Hannah Montana was also a superhero. So girls that go to an all girls private school.
Oh yeah, we did go to school.
But there were
I don't remember seeing
boys and girls. I don't remember any boys. I feel like the boys were aliens. That were at the school, or villains. Essentially, it was girls at an all girls private school where there was different cliques of friends, and each clique was a different genre of music. And
okay.
Yeah.
So it was a different genre. We were rappers.
Yeah, we were the rap group in it, which is hilarious because I never rapped in my life. We had to sing to get on the show. We did audition, sing and audition, and I think they kind of just split it up based on who they needed where. But we recorded original music every week for the show, which was really cool. It was
so fun. We got to record. I always was I want to write my own verses. So
all of that music is on Spotify, by the way.
What? Stop it.
I know.
We're going to cut to one of
No, please God, no. We're not even gonna. I noticed how neither of us have said the name of it.
So no one can Google it.
It'll get that out. It's fine.
But we met on the show, and it was really fun. It was really cute, and that was so long ago. I was so young, and I don't know.
We both were.
Yeah, we were so
6 years ago.
Insane. And so yeah, back to just years of ups and downs, hard moments, and then this past year, 2023 was the first year that I gave my life to Christ, and that's just something that I feel I could call you about, talk to you about. It's something that brought us closer. Now it's something that it opened my eyes so much more to who you are and why you are, and why I would invite you to things, or just you had a mentality that I'm that's so cool, how much of a point of view, and how you know your values, you know your morals, you say yes, you say no, you're very strict on about what you want to do and who you want to hang out with, and what you say and the way you act, and it made sense once I understood more.
Which is a good thing, because I feel like I've been a person that I guess to me, I always thought that I had a stigma around me of people don't want to do something quote unquote wrong or say something wrong around me because of the stigma. Because I am like, I feel like the church girl in my circle. And I never want people to feel like I'm like, yeah, like I'll hang out with you if you come to church with me. Like very, and I'm not, and I think that was why we clicked so well, because we already had that energy, that connection initially. Yeah. And I feel like me explaining some of the things to you, and like, Val, I don't think this person has your best interests in mind, or...
Yeah, you always had really good advice, like, very good morals, like, very just... You would tell me things and I wouldn't understand, and I'm like, why did she want to come do it? Like, she's such a hot girl, like, come party, come this, come that, and you're like, no, this is that, and then, like I said, it all clicked. So, love that for us.
That's where the demons live. Some of those parties.
Literally, that's like how I met. Speaking of that, just dating in LA, dating as a Christian, which is a whole new world, which is different if you are not dating as a Christian. I don't want to, like, does that put it too much in a box?
No, not necessarily, because I mean, everyone has their own walk that is separate to them and their experience, and their upward relationship. So, everyone's at a different place in their walk. For me, it's gotten so much more specific to me, what my convictions are, because my priorities have changed so much, because, I am finally in this place now, especially from dating out here. We're getting older. I don't really have the time to mess around anymore. And I know how I feel. I know my body. I know what affects me emotionally and what doesn't. And I mean, as you know, I live an abstinent life fully now. And I feel like that's such a crazy thing to explain to people. I feel like I'm on dates, or it was.
Explain that a little.
Yeah. I was on like first dates with people, and I'm like, okay, let's stop messing around. Let's just like fully be me. Let's fully say what I want out of life, out of our relationship. And a big part of that is abstinence, and also just I just want to drown in the blood of Christ. And I feel like I say that on dates, and people are like, that one of two things happen. They're like, oh my gosh, like you're the girl I've been looking for my whole life.
For sure.
Or they're running the opposite direction.
Which happens to me. Like, this past year that I like dated people, on first date, I was like, I don't sleep, yeah. I'm Christian, and that's why the first thing I said was that. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this, so just like be aware. And people were, maybe not the first date, but like second date, like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Well, I also just knew, like, I've had a lot of experiences, we all went to college, we all experienced things in college. I kind of just realized I would have this feeling, I would have this, like, deep, I wish I could figure out a way to articulate it better, like a deep, I don't want to use the word shameful because I, like, hate that word, but a deep longing, sort of like, almost just hurt,
for sure,
regardless, that surrounded premarital sex in any capacity. And that feeling just started to kind of take over me, more experiences that I had. And so I realized that that's the problem. Yeah. Like, that's the issue. And like, I need to accept that this conviction has overtaken me to the point where I need to I will be happier if I just live this life and I wait for a person whose first priority is the love of God. And the thing that's scary is, I think there were times in my life I did have a lot of really negative experiences dating, and yes, there was this fear of God in my conviction, but there was also this fear of men, and it was like intertwined.
Oh, I love that.
I was so scared of getting hurt that that was what helped me in my conviction, instead of continuously working on my upward relationship, so that was what was, what I was living for, working towards. So I think I'm finally there and in that place now. Long journey, but I'm like the happiest place I've ever been, ever.
You ordered that so like to the T of how I feel, and a lot of that knowledge also comes with age. Like the more
for sure.
It's because we're young. Like when I started dating, whatever, like I thought, you know, we had to sleep with someone to like get to know if that's like who we want to be with, and we put ourselves out and we try to like in a way please or people please or like, oh, this
totally. And it's just, it comes from your environment, it comes from your circumstance, like the people you surround yourself with,
what we see on TV, like what we're told. And I would also feel that feeling of like, again, not shame, but not worthy, like not self-worth. And
totally.
It would feel so sad, so sickening. I would like not feel comfortable in my body. I wouldn't feel appreciated or respected. And every time that would happen, like that's how I would feel. And it's like finally when I found Christ, because I couldn't have done it without, like I wouldn't have realized this without, but when I did, and like they explain to you why you don't have sex before marriage, why did, like everything got explained. I was like, oh, this is why I feel shitty, and now I feel crappy. I feel crappy, but now, and you said it the perfect way. I'm so happy and comfortable with myself. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I feel so confident. I feel loved. I feel respected. I feel, and that's why it's like we were talking about how we're the Christian girl in the group, or we're like the not goody two shoes, but yeah, like the Christian girl. And it's like, yes, I am that, and that's fine because I'm so happy with myself, and like I don't care if you judge me. I don't care what you think, because I'm not here to judge people that aren't Christian. And again, that's a big thing of this like podcast, is that we're not judging the outside world. We're just, something for me that has made me feel more powerful, better, prettier, stronger is the Bible. It wasn't like therapy helped. It wasn't therapy. It wasn't outside learning. I've looked for this validation in so many places, and I didn't know values and morals, and those are things that like I just didn't know or learn. And then eventually, you know, I read a lot of self-help books, and like that helped for sure. It helped me structure just, okay, like principles are this and that. But getting into the Bible and feeling like the love of a father, which I didn't grow up with a father, you know?
The mega father, yeah.
The mega father, I was like, oh, okay, someone loves me and he wants my body to be protected. And on the topic of men, it's like, yeah, men became scary, and I became very anti-men, because I'm like, all they want is just to like...
And you probably started to realize that feeling too, and then circling in, like really sitting down and thinking about it and looking at yourself in the mirror. There's something bigger here. I was like, okay, so maybe it's that like I'm demisexual, like I'm only attracted to a person, I'm only attracted to a man that I have a strong, deep emotional connection with. And then I'm like, oh no, it's just it's that with, you know, I feel that in me. I feel like people hear, oh, I'm waiting till marriage, or I'm abstinent. I feel like people hear that and it just sounds like a rule. It just sounds like this like dumb rule that like, you know, puts like a wall up around you to, you know, really penetrate someone emotionally. And I want to challenge people when I talk to people about it, that it's not just like this rule. It is put in place in order for God to protect you from the pain and the bad feelings and the shame that come from premarital sex. Thinking about it like sex as a gift that you're now allowed to partake in because you've held yourself to that higher standard, and you've not only that, like just being in a relationship and doing it and waiting, it takes so much pressure like off of the relationship, because now you can really focus on what is going to make you last with a person. Like imagine if you got in some horrible, I don't know, car accident or something, and your parts didn't work anymore, like you couldn't have sex with your partner. You would want to know that that person would still be with you. You would want to know that you could stand the test of time with someone. And that's just a big part of it for me too. Not having those priorities, I start to kind of lose I can only connect with someone so far.
Yeah.
And if they don't have that same priority, then it's like I like the connection just stops for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like the pressure that it comes with having that as a priority is so it kills it doesn't kill the relationship, but right, like coming on to a new relationship, like, hey, I'm abstinent. I wrote down on my notes why, and I've read watched so many YouTube videos, went through so many Bible verses. I'm like, I need to understand exactly why we do this, because how am I going to explain it to someone that I'm dating that, like, hey, we can't do this, especially if they're not Christian. They're not going to, like, understand. So I, like, broke it down and like, this, and that. And then it makes sense because, again, it's to protect that emotional pain that you get when you give that up. It is a gift. It is meant to make children. It is, like, you know, God makes really pleasurable, amazing things in life, but everything really pleasurable comes with its, like, not consequence, but, like, its reason behind it. And it's like, this is something really good. And I'm very like, okay, why is something so, like, what's the catch to this really amazing situation thing? And the catch is you have to protect it and you have to treasure it and you have to treat it as, like, not just something that let's just do it and blah blah blah. Like it's something so special, so treasured, and and I feel like that's a good practice to put out into the world, whether you're Christian or not. It's just like, trust me. And we all, I mean, look, we're not gonna front and say we all get that we want to, like, we all have that feeling in us. I get it, but that control and that control is unlike any other control. Like, that discipline is unlike any other discipline. Like, we go to the gym, we exercise, we wake up, we go to work. Like, we have all these duties and all these things that we need to push ourselves to do. So imagine keeping that discipline of, like, let's treasure this, like, this gift that God gave us and treat it, like, with so much respect that he expected us to treat it with from day 1 to day 3,000 million. Like, something I was talking about is the Bible, you know, they're like, oh, but nowadays, it's like, no, God knew what nowadays was going to be. And the Bible and all the teachings are going to still stay intact until the end of time. They work for, it's not like, oh, the Bible, digital age, like.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just, nothing, you were talking about, like, you know, the pleasures that are available to you easily. And it's like the difference between fleeting temporary good feelings versus the promise of unconditional love and everlasting life. Part of, you know, why I've loved finding this faith for myself is nothing compares in the world to that, like, warm, fuzzy, tingly, like, melting love. Like, the warmth of, like, just being coated in his blood. Like, I just think of, like, us in worship and, like, us just, like, looking at each other and sobbing. Like, nothing in the world compares to that to me. There's nothing like it. Nothing. Thinking about it like this, how do you repay the favor? How do you repay the favor of dying on the cross for our sins? Like, how do we repay that? And looking at our day-to-day life every day in that respect.
I feel so, I cry. Like,
I'm wrecked. I'm wrecked.
Cry every time I think and really, like, sit and feel and think what, like, Jesus went through for us. Like, that sacrifice, like.
Yeah, so it puts everything into perspective. Like, how can you be that selfless? And, like, we haven't even started talking about this, but I know you wanted to, like, when it comes to having friends that are non-believers versus believers,
we can go to that.
It's not even like convert. I don't like to use that word, like, to convert someone. I don't like to use that word. I've always felt, especially out here, especially in LA, you know, everyone kind of has their own routine and is very regimented to what they feel works for them, and I they feel works for them, I are we not recording the whole time? What was that? Are you serious?
It's okay. okay, because at least all the cameras are recording. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Give us a snippet.
No, God, no, not in front of you. She just wants to sing and flex in front of all of you.
No, you're an amazing singer.
I'm okay. I'm all right, but I just ate a bagel with cream cheese on it.
Don't blame the bagel.
Also, side note, the cheddar jalapeno bagels from Coffee Bean.
Snap.
Nothing will transport you to a Hawaiian vacation of paradise via private jet than a bite of that bagel. It is a holy experience.
Coffee Bean.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
I love that. I see you on private jets all the time.
Okay. We're not here to talk about that. And I, for a couple years after us meeting, if you texted me, you need to know this. If you texted me, I would drop anything I was doing because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out and see her. It wouldn't even matter what the thing was. I'm like, I am gonna go home with an insane story if I go and meet Valentina right now. And like a lot of the times I would come and meet you out and then you'd be like, hey babe, all right, I gotta go do this thing. I gotta go like mingle, social, network, just goodbye. Like I'll see you later. And I'm like, cool, all right, great, you know? But every time I had a story, I started to pull you out and I started to, you know, I put like a lasso around you and I started to like bring you back to reality, bring you into a holier place. I feel like.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
I wrangled her.
Going out in LA, like I've been going out and partying and whatever in LA since I was like 15. Like I think I went, and it was always like just this industry is tricky, and they tell you like, oh, you need a network. So I was like, okay, I'm getting invited to these events. I'm not here to party. I'm here to network. So that became such like a
tunnel vision for you.
You know,
yeah.
And
you'd be like, oh, this person's here. Oh my gosh, this person's here, and I know this person because of this person, and we need to go sit at this table because that person's sitting there.
And that's a big thing that I let go this past year. Like people can say that they don't see me outside and whatnot because I trust so much in God and God's plan, and I trust so much that I completely let go of trying to control and make things happen and like being so active and and like and superficial, honestly, because it was like for me it was work, and I was always honest about what I like wanted, but I wasn't, after so many years of doing something, it becomes where it's not the right way, and just trusting and letting things come to you and doing things like in a righteous way, things work out, and I'm happiest, and I've been working the most, and I'm the most like successful in my career when I let go of that, like I need to.
Because in that sense it's empty, right? It's empty. It doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't nourish your soul. You just get burnt out.
Yeah. And
it's like, and then you start to take a step back and you're just like, what am I doing this for? Like, what is this for?
Yeah. 100%. You lose purpose. And I feel like I got to a point where I lost purpose, and I'm like, this isn't fun. I don't love this anymore. Like I make music, and it's like the second you start losing your purpose in music and it becomes too music industry businessy, like what are you doing? Like you feel like a soulless, like just opportunist in a way. And a topic that I want to touch on is that like being, especially in the music industry, it's a lot of music business to it and industry to it and who you know and whatnot.
And for anything, I feel like out here.
Yeah, I mean
anything.
Any
yeah, but
industry.
But yeah, I know it's a whole other.
You hear these stories, you get told that you need to do this and that, and you need to know this and that, and you like listen to these like myths and stuff, but you believe it. And then I was at a point where I'm like, dang, I want this so bad. Like I'll do anything for it. Like, I mean, I went to music college and I did all this stuff and I networked how I could, and I took vocal lessons, I took songwriting lessons, like I did all these things to develop my skills. And I'm like, okay, but now I need to know the right people, I need to know the right executive, I need to know the right manager, the right A&R. And it's like I became so desperate in a sense, and that's just such a horrible, stressful, lifeless, purposeless way to achieve this. And then this past year, like I really let go, and I was like, God, if you have a purpose for my music and my career, like through you, because I'm not gonna keep pushing this and being desperate and like thirsty.
Sure. Yeah. And also just in the sense of, you know, I will say it's not even so much about the networking. It's just time. It's just like putting in the hours, you know, being prepared in any situation, because like you attract the energy you
Yes.
put out, right? And so if you are working hard tirelessly on your own and you are prepared for those bigger opportunities, and you know that door opens, like you're there and you're gonna be there and it's gonna happen, and you meet so many more people through time. And thinking about it in terms of being faith-based, the godlier you are, you're going to attract the people that, you know, have the best intentions for you, you know, are there for you. And, you know, vice versa. People want to be around that. I feel like the godlier you are, people are going to want to be around that energy. People are going to want to work with that energy. And like I sit back, and I've been here, 7 years now. I sit and I think back of all the interactions I've had with these, like, you know, like the people that are like, oh, I'm going to change your career overnight. First of all, people that talk like that, like they can't, you know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, that's a whole other conversation. That's a whole other podcast altogether.
That's a whole other podcast. But I do want to comment on that because it's a big thing that bothers me, and it's actually something like men in this industry will come and like sell you this dream and tell you that they want to help you and tell you that they believe in you. And I can't tell you the amount of time I've wasted believing these things and going to these meetings and where it turns out to be like a date that I didn't want. And actually you said like being faith-based and being Christian, like people are going to want to track that, but also people are going to avoid that, and it's going to start turning off some type of people that I love.
Yeah, but it's weeding out
my favorite thing in the world. I'm like, cool, I'm scaring you away because you told me that you believed in me, and someone comes to mind and it's like I gave someone a chance that said they believed in me when really they didn't. And now that I'm faith-based, and I promote it and I push it, and it's always on my social media, because now it's pushing away these people that like think they had like a chance or think that I wanted to be with them or be my career or something. And it's like, now it's pushing people away, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful and I'm so happy. And I don't feel anymore ever that I'm missing out and losing out on something. I'm like, oh wait, but that person could have helped me, so like let me kind of gatekeep them. Like, no, I don't care. If you leave me alone, leave me alone.
You're succumbing and you're surrendering to his love, right? And when that happens, it's him also helping and weeding the people out of your life that aren't supposed to be there. Weeding the people out of your life that don't have the best intentions for you.
Also friends. It weeds out friends, and that's why you're still in my life.
Yeah, well, exactly. I and I've always said this to you too, and I have other girlfriends too, like, oh my gosh.
Can we just talk about girlfriends?
We'd be out with these people and these things, and I'm like, you know, these girls that are just out to be seen, you know, and like being all done up and being, you know, and like sitting here like, you know, this girl's crying because she said this to her or whatever. And I'm like, girl, like that girl does not care about you. That girl would like leave you here in a second.
That scares me so
You know what I'm saying?
much.
And it's like sit and think about that for a second, you know, like who can you call? Like Cullen even said something funny the other day. It was like you find out who your real friends are like when you're moving. Like truly. And like I really felt it because like I am like helping Teddy like move out of that house.
I saw your post. I sent him a moving company that like does it really.
But this is the thing. Okay, sorry. And this isn't even you. I'm like, Teddy should not be having to pay people to help him move out. People should be lining up outside his house to help him move because of all of the favors he's done for other people. Teddy would literally drop anything to help anybody out.
Yeah.
Like always. He's always been that way. And like
a lot of the people in that friend group, which is an astronomical friend group,
Right.
a lot of the guys, especially, like, I'm a girl, I weight train, whatever. Like, I can help him move. I shouldn't be the only one helping him move. But here I am, you know, like, lugging these boxes, like, into this U-Haul. Also, it was, I have to tell you the story of how we moved because it was insane. But all these guy friends that, you know, are artists, are musicians, you know, that want to be like, are the first people to be like, Teddy, like, can we do a concert in your backyard? Like, Teddy, can I throw my birthday party at your house? Like, Teddy, can I, like, host my event, my marketing event at your house? And he's like, yeah. We had, like, we did, like, a stand-up comedy show back there. We did, like, a play back there through, like, all these people.
And no one showed up.
Not a single person
I'm sorry, I didn't.
came and helped him move. And it's a 2-bedroom house in Silver Lake. It took a long time. It took weeks.
When
and
I
the other thing that was
moved-
crazy, he had storage units to put his things in.
Yeah.
And people were like, can I use your storage unit to put my thing in? And so here we are trying to fit his entire house into these storage units. And it's already filled with other people's things. He is moving out and it's like, oh, this person never came and picked up their thing. This person never. And they're expecting us to come deliver it to them. I'm like, guys.
That's so LA.
Guys.
That's such an LA story. When I moved,
Moochers.
Zach helped me and you offered me.
Yeah, of course I did. And also because, you know,
And I didn't have, you stayed with me.
you offered me housing when I, at the time, was in an, I don't want to say abusive relationship. I wasn't being abused. I was in a rough relationship and on top of that, the apartment I was living in with my boyfriend was being fumigated for termites.
Right.
And I came and stayed with Rex and it was like so great.
And my cat.
And Zach, and it was so fun.
It's so sad when like we really need people and like true friends and real friends that don't have bad intentions, that unconditionally love me. And you taught me unconditional love and you taught me unconditional friendship, and Christ taught me that. And
Because that's where it comes from. It comes from
exactly
the one who first loved
Yeah.
us. That is the framework for teaching you how to love another person.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, come to church with me. Because it was clear to me that there was you've had some toxic experiences, and that many toxic experiences, that many traumatic experiences
Yeah.
can mess up what your idea of what love is. And so it's just to bring you back
Yes.
to
Yes.
where
it
comes from.
We both went through a really
A lot.
traumatic breakup at the same time. Like,
Yeah, we did.
pretty much at the same time. Like, we met at Coachella and we were both in this relationship, and like months later we were both, or I don't know, at some point just out of like both so hurt. And you were who I came to. And
Even when when I stayed with you, I think it was happening. It was like I wasn't broken up yet, but we were about to.
right, we were
Yeah,
both going through
we
it.
were
So
going through
I
it.
had just moved in with my best friend and my roommate Zach from like moving from Miami,
Yeah.
and I'd kept this whole thing super low key because it wasn't right. It was bad, and I knew it was bad, and you knew it was bad, and you kept me so many times like, this is a bad person, this is bad for you, like this isn't holy, like this is. And I was so hurt, so destroyed. You were one of the only people that I came to, and you were just so there for me. And going to church and just, I remember, I don't know if you were there for that sermon.
It was just so noticeable, like especially from you coming back from Miami. It's like a big chunk of your soul wasn't there. And I remember we were in that Uber going to Halsey, and it was like the first time and it was the first time I had seen you since you left. Pretty much, I did see you at Coachella, but like for a moment, you know, but like that was our first like one-on-one interaction since you got back from Miami, and I felt it. You weren't as bright. And I was like, something really wrong happened. I mean, you did end up telling me, but it's like that. I felt it. I felt that something was missing. I felt something from you was stuck there.
Joanna, me driving back from that I can still remember how hard I was crying, like scream crying on the freeway.
That's what that does to you.
I thought I had like been fine at that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm okay.
No, dude, that was you. That was you purging that dark person like out of your body, like scream crying. Like, yeah, I've had a lot of those
the sermon at church home was that got me, that I was like, oh, where has this been my whole life, was like, don't let the snake if the snakes
Oh
bite
my gosh,
you.
that sermon. Oh my gosh, that sermon was insane. I remember that sermon.
That was what turned
I still
me
think about
Christian.
that sermon.
I made a whole TikTok on it because it's like, don't let the venom get to your heart. And like this person bit me, like this snake bit me, and it was such poison. Like the things I found out, the things that like happened, like I hated him.
And him even saying like, the more you talk about it, like it's clearer that this poison has deeply infected you, because it's like all I want to do is talk about how bad this snake bit me. And you're not a good friend if you don't listen to how hurt I am and how hurt I am from this bite. And it's like,
that the poison was killing me.
Yeah.
It was consuming me inside out, upside down. It's all like I knew, and I was so hurt by it. And when Judah just said, don't let it kill your heart, and I was like, yeah, and forgive and forgive and forgive. I walked out of there like, wow, I forgive this man. I forgive this situation. I forgive, and I'm not going to let the poison. And I felt so like free and lifted for once. And then I raised my hand that day. Like that was the first day I raised my hand. And then I just became obsessed with Christ and with God. And I went to church every Sunday. I went to Bible study. Like I got so into it because I'm like, where has this been my whole life? I've done therapy. I've done this. I've done that.
well, it's always been there. It's just been a matter of being ready to surrender to it, you know, and wanting it for yourself. I feel like a lot of us grew up, like people say like, oh, I grew up Christian.
I didn't.
And it's like, what does that
all.
mean? And so it's like, okay, so like you went to church with your parents, like how do you feel about it? Like what is your relationship to it?
I didn't. I didn't know. I had never walked into a church. I've never opened a Bible. I didn't know any, like I was kind of Catholic, but like my mom is more spiritual, like Buddha kind of manifesting. My grandma like is Catholic, but never like pushed it onto me. So I didn't know Christianity. I thought Christians were weird. I don't know.
I found this incredible book. It's one of my most cherished books. And yeah, it has a devotional for every morning. It's written by this Christian marriage counselor. And thinking about you, like you saying like, I grew up Christian. I went to church like growing up or whatever the situation was, and just not knowing what that even meant or what that is for you. Like it like when you're a kid, it doesn't, I feel like with kids, it doesn't always have, it's like 50-50. It doesn't always have like an effect on you. Like sometimes you're in church and you're a kid and you're like, just like, like playing like Hangman on a pamphlet or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always like, it's not resonating, cause you're a kid. But as you get older, especially growing up growing up at all, like is tough. And you feel this longing. He talks about in this devotional how you grow up, you are born longing for the Father. You're born in need of the Father and missing the Father. Like, so like thinking about that in terms of your entire life, like how do you deal with that feeling? If you're in a relationship and you're depressed and you get cheated on, you get broken up with, like you're left like, oh, I miss this person, I miss this thing. It's like, no, you don't. That I miss feeling is like, you need Jesus.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what that is. And thinking about your relationship in that way for the rest of your life, every relationship you're in, first and foremost, you are in a relationship.
Yeah.
With Christ.
Can I just, before I forget, like we got in a fight, me and my lovely boyfriend.
Who's staring at her down right now.
Our like first kind of little fight thing situation, and he went to Coachella and I stayed off my phone. I mean, I stalked a little, but I went to Bible study, to church, to another Bible study. I tried just finding everything I can to
Did you go to Coachella like to get away from her, or were you guys
That's
gonna go to
another
Coachella
story.
together?
No, not to get away. We were like supposed to go together, but then like last minute, I just like didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to.
You were just kind of okay.
Because I didn't want to party. I didn't want to drink. I don't know. I just did it. It didn't feel
Yeah.
right. So I was like, you should go. You should go. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go. Like,
Right, well, I wanna go,
Well, he
so.
has his tickets. He has a place to stay. Like he had that set up. So I'm like, go. So he goes, and I'm like, how could he go?
Yeah. No.
But
I would probably be that way too.
where I'm tying this in is like I just dove in so deep into like
What that feeling
I
is,
went to
yeah.
a women's group. I just went to like Christian boot camp for that weekend, and all the advice that I got, the women were like, pray if that's your man, if that's a godly man, like pray for it. And reverse back a year or so, I would have, when me and my ex broke up, I went on a private jet with the chain smokers. I went to Miami. I'm on a yacht. I'm partying. I'm this. I'm doing all that to try to fill that missing, that void, that like I miss
It's
you.
not gonna
I'm hurt.
happen. Yeah.
And it did not.
It's not
It
gonna
left
happen.
me so disgusted with myself. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy, but I'm going home at 8 a.m. and that's just such a gross feeling. I'm drinking. I'm like poisoning my body. Versus this time around, I dove so deep into like that side of things, and then I remember saying like, God, if he's meant for me, he will speak to me tonight, and like that happened.
Yeah.
And then it's that moment I was like, that's so perfect, and it's been so perfect.
Just
and
letting go and trusting, surrendering, succumbing, because like nothing but good comes from that. Nothing but good.
And if
comes
you're
from
going through like what got me through a breakup, and what gets me through any negative, depressing time is just God. Like if you, it's Jesus, and it's the Bible, and it's talking to someone, and that's what will fill that. And I'm like, I have a Father who loves me, and there's so much love in me. There doesn't feel like there's anything missing. So.
Exactly. And it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's about chasing the forever feelings and not the temporary, good, pleasurable, sinful feelings. Because sure, it can, bring like a temporary good feeling, but it'll go away quickly, abruptly, and it'll just leave you.
I wanted to mention another thing about friends and homegirls, and it's like also just and tying it into relationships. Like I have brought my boyfriends around like some type of friends where like you're like, huh, like that's not cool. Like I don't know, I'm comfortable bringing like you around any like boyfriend, like any like, because I trust you, but it's like I don't know if you've dealt with like a homegirl who's like a little too flirty, a little too.
I haven't dealt with that.
I dealt with that with guys that weren't meant for me, and then that happened, and I was like, okay, that's not a good friend, and that's not a good guy.
Yeah. I've dealt with it in the sense of like I didn't realize, it made me realize like what girls I was around in my life that were insecure.
Yes.
Yeah, it did make me realize that, because here I would be like being introduced to this or that guy who's talking to one of my girlfriends or whatever the situation is. And I'm just like, I'm just nice. Like I'm nice and I'm polite. I remember there was one instance where I went to go like, it was like a friend of a friend's like DJ set. And this girlfriend of mine was like, oh, like such and such's gonna be there. Like we just started talking. Like if like I want you to meet him. And, I show up and she's like, hey, this is Joanna. And I'm like, hi. And and I could just feel her eyes like burning through me as I'm like, hi, and talking to him. I'm like, oh, and then I turn back to her and she like, all of a sudden it like picks my shirt up higher. She's like, can you not like, and I'm like, whoa. I was like, you, what? Like what? I just literally said, hi, nice to meet you.
Oh my god.
So I'm just like, oh, whoa, because it's out here, it's scary. But this is the thing. You're out here, if you have to worry about your man looking at my chest while I'm saying that's not your man.
Yes.
Like that either comes from insecurity, or that comes from like something happened, or you don't trust him, or you don't, like you shouldn't have to worry about a person. You shouldn't have to worry about something like that.
It all comes down to that.
Why would you want to be in a situation where you're worrying about something like that?
It's horrible. It all comes down to that. Like I will always
chasing people that have that godlier energy.
Because that with my
not
ex,
chasing, I don't want to say chasing, attracting.
Ex, that's all I dealt with. It's like I couldn't, like any female I introduced, it was like
you were hypnotized.
Like it was such a problem, and I'm like, is it my insecurity? Like I don't want to be insecure. Like I don't want to like care that he like meets other people.
Because we've been hurt. You've been hurt. It started. But this is the thing. It's like that person. Yeah, we would have to worry about not him, but like that person.
Yeah.
Yes. Having that godlier energy for yourself, knowing where you are on your walk, understanding how specific that is for you. That energy doesn't go unnoticed. Like you will only attract other people on that wavelength. Hence.
Yeah. No, and like, now I'm in a happy, healthy, trusting, like I think all I ever wanted was like loyalty, and I'm like, I want loyalty, but I need to be able to give loyalty. And now that I have Christ, now I know how to give like unconditional love, unconditional loyalty, like And
then you understand the difference.
Exactly.
When you're out in the field, you understand the difference.
Yeah.
When you feel it, you know.
And that respect, and it's like I feel that finally, unlike I ever have. So, and I prayed for that, and you know, it came very miraculously. I wasn't looking, I wasn't searching, and I wasn't even open to it. And eventually.
But that's when it always happens, when you don't, you know, when you're at least expecting.
But I really was like
looking.
It was a conversation with God. I'm like, God, please, like I clearly have made horrible decisions in men, from my ego, from my insecurities, from like whatever. And here I'm happily alone. I'm happily devoting my life to you, to my career. If this person's meant to be in my life, let it happen. And if not, please get it away from me.
But you start just making decisions for yourself, you know.
And you are too. You tell us what.
Hi. Do you want to go down the list of what we need to talk about, and I'll get there.
But I do want to touch on what we were talking about, Justin and Haley, and your whole.
Oh, what I was saying about that podcast that I listened to with Justin Bieber, because Justin and Haley go to our church, like explaining the conviction, so that like everyone can understand. And equating your relationship to Christ to like your relationship with your partner. So like us serving God in the same sense of like, I love my boyfriend. I love my boyfriend so much. I love my boyfriend so much that like I don't cheat on him.
Yeah.
My boyfriend doesn't love me because I don't cheat on him. That doesn't make any sense. Like he wouldn't love me because I don't cheat on him. Because we love each other, we don't want to cheat on each other, because there's like, I love him so much I could never hurt him. So think about your relationship to Christ in the same way. The more that you surrender, the more that you succumb to the love that he is endlessly, constantly giving you, you don't want to sin anymore. You don't want to, and on the podcast he was talking about it in terms of like his relationship with Haley and why his faith like brought him stronger too. His conviction. It's just serving that love, like surrendering to that love, opening your heart to it, to where it's all being pushed back out and up.
That just makes me think of like, it's a domino effect, right? Like it starts with that like love, that conviction, that love for God. And you don't want to sin. Like, yes, there's 10 commandments and there's rules. And at first, like if you aren't in Christian, it's like, oh, these are rules and I can't do this, you guys can't do that. But it's like, you don't want to do that. Those things will start turning you off. Like I met him, I was the first, when I'm at like 4 a.m. parties, like, which I was, and when we met at, I was like, I don't feel comfortable. Like it's not that everyone else here is wrong. It's like, I know me and I know my habits. I know my past. I know what I'm like, I have been a slave to. And it's like, I don't want to sin. I don't want to do this. I don't want to drink. I don't want to sleep with someone before being with them, because I know how it has hurt me. But the more that I have loved God and like understood the Bible and read it and just feel that fatherly love and that fatherly respect and that like value, Jesus values me so much that I'm like, well, I value myself, because
your body is a temple. Like your body is a gift you are given. Like it is a gift that we are able to live in this body every day. And thinking about it as, how are we going to treat this carriage of your soul? Because that's the thing. Our soul is what we need to nourish, because our body is decaying. As we are on this earth, our body is decaying every day. And we are not saved until it's no longer working. Like, so thinking about every day, like if we were to get into a horrible accident or whatever were to happen and we were to just die today, like, would we be saved? And that's the promise. Like thinking about it, and I think I brought it up in the last one, but like living your life every day as, how am I going to wake up today and return the favor of dying on the cross for our sins?
Yeah. And
how do we return the favor of unconditional love and everlasting life every day? You were talking about the prayer in your song, in your new song that we're going to promote on here, your new prayer, saying, like, forgive me, like I've sinned, and I probably will again, but like, please forgive me. I'm here at your feet. And like how to take that a step. Think about it like how to take that a step further.
Yeah.
Like specify that prayer for your day. So like God, show me how to be your hands and feet today while I'm here at your feet. Like how can I be an extension of you with whatever I have going on in my life?
Yeah. I love to, God is, and Jesus is my idol. And it's like, how close can I see through his eyes? How close can I do acts of service like he does? Like, I mean, my grandma is someone that I look at and I see Jesus, because like that's someone who, I don't care who you are, what you've done, she will go out of her way to make sure like they're happy. And like I idolize people like that, and I love that prayer, and I love to wake up with that prayer of, how can I be more like you? How can I be your hands and feet? What can I do to get closer to you? And I am releasing this song, and it's a collaboration. And I haven't done music. This is the first song I released since I became a Christian. And it was a very interesting situation for my career, because in the music industry and the image that I built and my brand was very like, not sexualized to like a Cardi B, but like it's this like Latina and you have to be sexy. And like in the music industry, it's like we're promoting these things that I'm like, dang, I don't identify with that anymore. And I don't want to bring that to light anymore, because I just don't want to. And it's like I'm not letting money and like fame and anything like kind of dictate me. ¿Cómo se dice?
Dictate? Yeah,
dictate me. And so this is the first song, and I got in this. I didn't even know if I wanted to do music anymore. Like I was really at an internal battle, but I was like, let me just get, this song kind of came to me in a random way, and it was like the 7th track, and it was called Knee Deep, and like the lyrics already on it were like talking about God, and I was like, let me just feature on this like for fun.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I wrote this verse that I'm really happy with. And what channeled that verse was, I'm saying like, Lord, I've done things and I've messed up, and I will mess up again, and I'm not perfect, but I'm here at your feet, and I'm here to bring glory to you, and I'm not embarrassed to talk about you in my music. Am I going to sit here and say like, I'm now a Christian artist? Like, no, I don't know, but that's how I'm starting to dip my feet, and how I'm starting to get comfortable, because it's just a lot of me changed when I gave my life to Christ, but changed for the better, and I'm happier and I'm more comfortable in my skin. And now, I know God will provide the money, the career, the job, whatever it is, because I'm now serving him. And he took the ego of like, I want to be successful, to like, I'm doing this for God, and now my priority is God. And that has shifted so much of how I work and move and talk and speak, and even like being an actress, and how I portray myself, and how I dress, and how my strategies are all now so much pure and real and healthier. And I have a roof, I have food, I have family, I have health. Like I have so much that I'm now so grateful for, that before I was like, I need this.
It's not enough.
That.
It's not enough. Yeah,
I need a
nothing
Mami
is enough.
jet.
Yeah, no, it's a gift. It's a gift that we're able to. Like we were reading this thing, and it was talking about like, like the best time to get Botox like is like in your late 20s, like early 30s, because of and I'm sitting here, but like, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I would love to not have like the 11s between my eyes, and I'm sitting there like, no, like, what a blessing,
Yeah.
to get a wrinkle on your face.
Yeah.
Like we lived long enough to get a wrinkle on our face.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Yeah, like think about that.
I get really bad cramps.
Like so many people have not been able to do that, and it's like, I don't know.
I get really, really bad cramps, and like I don't want to use that word, but like, we're females, time of month comes around, and I dread it. But now I've changed my perspective. Like, I'm fertile, I'm a woman, and I'm healthy, and my body does this monthly at the same time that it should. And thank you, God, that I'm healthy, and I can do that. And so I've learned to stop complaining about things that we take for granted, and we're like, people would kill for that. And so now I live in so much gratitude, and I'm so happy, and I'm so content. I do work hard, and you work hard, and like, we both have these like work ethics, and that's something that clicks about us. Like, I'm working every second of the day, but it's just, I'm grateful, and I'm so What happened?
Oh no.
I'm so lucky that I can work and
Yeah. Very instinctive. Just frame it, because the a lot of the real quote unquote work happens in the rest and the reset.
one of the questions I wrote is, how are we letting Jesus guide us in the industry? And I think it ties into what we're saying. It's like, how do you feel about like money and auditions? Because you're auditioning all the time.
Yeah. I've just, I've gotten to this point where I mean, right now it's pretty crazy, because like last year I had like one of the best years I've had in LA. Like when it came to auditioning, it was almost like, oh, I can't audition for that, because if I audition for that, I'm going to book that. So I don't have the time. Like I was saying no to so many things,
Yeah.
Whereas, in other years time, like, like we'll be like begging for anything, like for whatever reason, you're not booking anything, and it got to the point where I was like, I had to say no to things. I had so much anxiety, because like every second of every day was filled with like, I was on set or something. I booked more residencies too, and I even booked a show, like another product placement show, where that is consistent, like it shoots every week, so I'm like full time acting and DJing now. So it's like but it's taken this long. But now I'm like, there's a part of it that's like, oh, this feels empty. This feels, because there's no time for the rest. There's no time for the gratitude. There's no time for the reflection, and I cannot stress the importance of that. And this is what's so sickening to me. And I feel like we've talked about this before, but I don't know where, especially in Hollywood, I don't know where this stigma came from. Like your godliness is equated to like how much you're working, like that's not a thing.
No. Judah speaks so against that.
No, Judah talks about it a lot, but like I don't know where this thing, like I'm so like mega spiritual because I'm always working. It's like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah.
I think it's spiritual to be able to rest and be happy with resting and just trusting that God will provide the next job or the next gig. But
because it's like, how can you listen to what he's saying if you're
always
working?
On the go,
yeah,
go.
It's like, no, for sure.
So I mean, if you are on the go, it's like maintain that prayer, maintain that gratitude, and don't forget to like give praise to God because he's giving you that job. And if you're on a downtime, it's like pray to God that it will come. The next job will come. You have the skills, you have the opportunity, and
what you're not getting is not meant for you.
Exactly.
It's meant for someone else. It's
exactly.
that understanding.
And the end of the story is that at the end of the day is that Jesus will be there in all those down times when you're knee deep, when you're at rock bottom. Is Jesus will be there next to you, with you, and he's got your back, and you can live in that comfort and don't be succumbed to like depression or anxiety or like these emotions that are Satan, and Satan whispers into your ears, like fear, stress, like all these things, that if you are just drowning in Jesus's love and trust and faithfulness, like he's got you and you will be good. And that's something that's really helped me this past year. So
she's a whole new person.
I am, and I always like isolate, I'm very it's not, I also live like
better.
Far away, but I'm just very to myself. I'm never, I love spending time with you. I love seeing you at church. Like, it's my favorite time of the month.
We saw each other more than like once a month. It's just so funny because like we'll see each other at church, and then like the next time I see you is at church, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been a full month since I've seen.
You're always working, or I'm always working, and it's like the moments that I could come into you, like you're DJing, and I'm like, I'm at a bar and there's alcohol and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And I'm not always the best. I'm not always the best.
No, but we'll make time. And I love this. I love that we like did this. This is really.
I'm literally I'm looking outside your window and I'm like thinking about how I caught the shrimp in my mouth, and I was the only one that did. At your Benihana party. She had a Benihana chef in her.
Do you remember
balcony.
my party last year? The year before that. The whole
yes, I do.
I had the photo booth.
Yes, I do.
Teddy and
yes, that conversation was I still talk about that to this day. That was 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
So funny. I like see Teddy and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so sexy. It's
Like
looking
me.
in a mirror.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well, to wrap it up, I'm so grateful that you're here. This has been amazing. I am dropping.
I'm honored it's the first time. I'm the first one.
I know it's perfect, and we've been talking about this forever. I'm like, I want you on a podcast. I want you on a podcast.
Yeah. No, exactly. But we're here to promote your song.
Yes, it's called Knee Deep. It's coming out June 21st. I am so excited. Or maybe by the time this like podcast is out, it already came out. But go check it out. It's featuring 2 other great artists. Called K-Wigs and Terry and Mac, and it's on all platforms. Tell us about your next DJ set. What do you?
Oh yeah, I am. Oh, let me look at my phone because we're so busy. We don't know what day it is. No, literally. That's how I feel right now. Today is the 13th. I'm DJing at State Social House in West Hollywood on the 23rd.
So go check it out. Free drink on me if you guys go say my name.
I'm now, it's like my new one. So I'm there you can catch me doing a set there every other Sunday.
So cool.
And potentially at the Den on Sunset.
Potentially at the Den.
On Friday, the 21st, waiting to find out about that. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I can come play my song. You always play my music when I drop it, which is amazing. I love you for that.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? Always. Also, I'm on a product placement sketch show.
So funny.
Through Reckless Comedy, where girls play gaming consoles. So like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo.
What are you?
I'm
PlayStation,
PlayStation, the PlayStation, because that's the best one. But it's really funny, and we review video games that are coming out. So it's really current, super up to date, topical. The consoles fight over one man's attention who's like constantly at home playing video games on his couch.
That's amazing.
It's hilarious. It's definitely a lot more adult than the sketch shows that me and Val used to do back in the day.
I'll put that in the description. I'll tag all of that. All your info, your Instagrams. How can we find you?
Yeah.
At Joanna. What's your IG?
Come find me. Oh, it's Joanna's Your Hobby.
Yes.
Joanna Hobby. Joanna's Your Hobby. I'm never giving that handle up for anything in the world.
Well, I love you. Thank you for coming all the way out here. This is an amazing talk.
Anything to come to your mom's house. It's my favorite place. It's like Disneyland. I can't wait to use the Toto toilet after we're off of this call.
Best toilet
That's
ever.
my butt has been so excited. Yeah.
You should close us out with a prayer.
I should.
You say really nice prayers.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I want your hand.
All right. Dear Lord, thank you, first of all, for getting me to Calabasas safely. It was a journey. It was a trek, but we made it here. I am so thankful for this time that you have blessed Val and I to sit here and do something that we've wanted to do probably since we became friends. God, I want you to reach out to every single person listening to us right now. I want you to reach into their heart and pull yourself out, Lord. Show us how to be your hands and feet today and every day. Thank you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Wait, where's the clap?
No, that was perfect.
Was it? Okay. We'll leave that. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.
Bye.